Hello students, myself Shanghamitra. Today I am commencing the making of a scientist, which is the sixth chapter of Footprints Without Feet of class 10. This story was written by Robert W. Peterson, who was an American newspaper writer who later became a freelance author of magazine articles and books, especially on the topics of sports and scouting. He was born in the year 1925 at Pennsylvania in America and was died on 11th February in 2006. So you will know what is the introduction, character of this story, and summary, theme, word meaning, question answers also. Let's see. So students, you have to know how many characters are in this story. I am discussing about four main characters. First character is Richard H. Ebright, who is a multifaceted genius, a great scientist, debater, canoeist, etc. He collected basically butterflies since his childhood because it was his hobby, interest. He worked on monarch butterflies, the cell and its DNA. Monarch butterflies are one type of butterflies. He was mainly inspired by his mother, Dr. Arquhart, a researcher, and his teacher, Richard A. Weyher. Next, second character, Richard H. Ebright's mother. She encouraged and inspired Ebright's interest in learning. She bought him several instruments, cameras, his only companions she was. She got him the book. That book is very popular and very main thing in his life, Ebright's life. The book's name is The Travels of Monarch X that changed Ebright's life. Next, third character, Dr. Arquhart, a researcher, a famous researcher. He has been working on monarch butterflies. He taught at University of Toronto, Canada. He helped Ebright with new ideas and suggestions. Fourth character, Richard A. Weyher. He was a social studies teacher of Ebright. He was respected and admired by Ebright. He turned Ebright's energy towards the debating and model United Nations clubs, and he changed Ebright's life. So these are the main characters. Next, come to the point. On what theme the author has written this story? He mentions basically three qualities that go into the making of a scientist. The first quality is a first-rate mind. Second one is a curiosity. And the third quality, the will to win for the right reasons. He wanted to tell through the story, without these three qualities, no one will be made himself a great scientist. So it is the main theme. Let's see the summary of this story. Richard H. Ebright published Theory of How Cells Work in an article in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science at the age of 22. Richard H. Ebright grew up in Reading in Pennsylvania. There he was not able to do anything. He was not able to play football or baseball too. But he said that there he could do one thing, collect things. So he collected things. In kindergarten, Ebright collected butterflies. He also collected rocks, fossils and coins. He would observe sky at night too. He would live with his mother, who encouraged his interest in learning. She would take him on trips, bought him telescope, microscope, cameras, mounting materials and other materials required for learning. He lost his father when he was in third grade. her mother would call him Richie. Her mother would discuss with him every night and give him mental exercise instead of physical exercise, which he wanted to learn. By the time he was in the second grade, Ebright had collected all 25 species of butterflies found around his hometown. Richard said that this would have been end of his butterfly collection, but her mother gave him a children's book called The Travels of Monarch X. That book, which told how monarch butterflies migrate to Central America, opened the world of science to Richard. At the end of book, readers were invited to help study butterfly migration. They were asked to tag butterflies for research by Dr. Frederick A. Arquhart of the University of Toronto, Canada. Anyone who found a tagged butterfly was asked to send the tag to Dr. Arquhart. If you tried to catch them one by one, you won't catch very much. So Richard rose a flock of butterflies. He would catch a female monarch, take her eggs and raise them in his basement through their life cycle, from egg to caterpillar to pupa to adult butterfly. Then he would tag the butterfly's wings and let them go. For several years, his basement was home to thousands of monarchs in different stages of development. In got a hint of what a real science is when he entered a county science fair and lost. He said that it was a sad feeling to sit there and not get anything while everybody else had won something. Ebright said. His entry was slides of frog tissues, which he showed under a microscope. He realized that winners had tried to do real experiments, and he decided that for the next year he has to do something extraordinary than others. So he asked to Dr. Arquhart for suggestions. For his eighth back came a stack of suggestions. Tried to find the cause of a viral disease that kills nearly all monarch caterpillars every few years. Ebright thought the disease might be carried by a beetle, so he rose caterpillars in the presence of beetles. But he didn't get any real result. But he went ahead and showed that he had tried the experiment. The next year, his science fair project was testing the theory that viceroy butterflies copy monarchs. It is called mimicry, the process of copying other types of insects by another insect. Here, viceroy butterflies are another kinds of butterflies. One is monarch butterflies and another one viceroy's butterflies. So viceroy's butterflies, they started to copy monarchs. That is the project. The theory was that viceroys look like monarchs because monarchs don't taste good to birds. Viceroys, on the other hand, do taste good to birds. So the more they look like monarchs, the less likely they are to become a bird's dinner. Ebright's project was to see whether in fact birds would eat monarchs. He found that a starling would not eat ordinary bird food. It would eat all the monarchs it could get. Ebright said later, research by the other people showed that viceroys probably do copy the monarch. This project was placed first in the zoology division and third overall in the county science fair. In his second year in high school, Richard Ebright began the research that led to his discovery of an unknown insect hormone. Indirectly, it also led to his new theory on the life of cells. The question he tried to answer was simple. What is the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots on the monarch pupa? Everyone assured the spots were just ornamental, Ebright said. But Dr. Arcuher did not believe it. To find the answer, Ebright and another excellent science student first had to build a device that showed that the spots were producing a hormone necessary for the butterfly's full development. This project won Ebright first place in the county fair and entry into the International Science and Engineering Fair. There he won third place for zoology. He also got a chance to work during the summer at the entomology laboratory of the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. Entomology, it's a branch of zoology and it is a scientific study of insects. As a high school junior, Richard Ebright continued his advanced experiments on the monarch pupa. That year, his project won first place at the International Science Fair and gave him another chance to work in the Army laboratory during the summer. So, throughout the story, the author wanted to show these three qualities. I have told what are these three qualities, and without these three qualities, no one will be a great scientist. Throughout the story, it is highlighted.